Hello everybody! Today I'd like to demonstrate my latest Twisty puzzle creation. This is the fully functional ghost brick 3x4x5 cuboid. This puzzle is made from a Shengshou Linglong mini 5x5 as well as 3D printed plastic extensions. And this puzzle does feature a hidden middle layer, meaning it is a true fully functional brick 3x4x5 cuboid. In addition, the extensions have been post-processed to produce a better sound quality puzzle. Before I get into the turning quality, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I made this puzzle, and if you'd like to skip over that, please feel free to use the timestamps in the description. At its core, this puzzle was modeled off of a regular standard 5x5. From there, extensions were created for an axis 5x5. Then, the layers on the 5 side, one of the 5 sides, were ghosted to create a ghost 5x5 puzzle, which is the base of this. From there, a ghost 5x5x3 was created, which is easy enough by fusing the top and bottom 2 layers of the puzzle. And the final step was to hide away one of the middle layers on one of the 5 layer length sides. And that's where I just took a side and stepped each side outwards in by half a cubie. That's the same process I used with my other brick puzzles. It's no secret. And that is effectively how this puzzle was made. It's just that this combines a lot of different concepts into one. Unfortunately, I could not truncate this puzzle down, and it has resulted in a very large puzzle. Here's a standard size 3x3 for comparison, and you can see how large it is. And just to get that across, here is a 3x5x7. And it is almost as tall as the 3x5x7 is long. And it is actually longer than 3x5x7. I think this puzzle is 95 by 105 by 110 millimeters or something like that. Now, this puzzle is a ghost puzzle, and as such, I need to align the layers in order to be able to turn it. And this is the side that I actually have access to. As I said before, this puzzle was ghosted across one of the 5 side layers. So let me go ahead and align all of the layers real quick. So as you can see, the layers are now aligned, and I have access to turn all of the other sides of the puzzle, which I did not before. Brick puzzles are hard enough to solve as is. Solving the puzzle into this shape is going to be a nightmare, and I do not have any confidence in my ability to solve this. It's probably going to get taken apart, to be honest. And of course, it can be turned across this side. Let me just go ahead and put the puzzle into what I believe is a checkerboard pattern. I'm not completely sure if this is an actual checkerboard, but oh well. Trying to be as careful as possible here. Okay, so that looks like, well, it looks like a mess, but this is actually supposedly a checkerboard pattern. It might be a little bit off since this is an even y odd puzzle, but I'm not completely sure, and I, quite frankly, do not really care. I'm going to restore it to its shape before I accidentally mess it up. I will scramble it, don't worry. I'm just not ready to do that quite yet. Yeah, I could not make a demonstration video without scrambling the puzzle. That would not be fair. Okay, it looks like we are back. So now, to demonstrate the brick qualities of this puzzle, let's go ahead and try to complete a turn with a 4-layer side onto a 3-layer side, like here. And I can't turn through that, and that's expected on a normal brick cuboid. That's not possible. And I will go ahead and try to turn a 5-layer side onto a 4-layer side. Here we are. That's all lined up, and I'm locked. I can't do it, which is exactly what we would expect. What I can do, however, is turn a 3-length side onto a 5-length side. And here we are. And we can do that. Now on a regular brick cuboid, one that is not a ghost cuboid, like one that looks something like this, we would see it start to shapeshift. Of course, with a ghost puzzle, it sort of always shapeshifted when you scramble it. But this would normally be a shapeshifting move. In this case, it's really just a bandaging move. So now this corner up here has blocked this edge with this center, this edge with that center, and so forth. So it does bandage down to a 3x3, just like a regular brick 3x4x5 would. And now what I'm going to do when I'm going to dread this is I'm going to actually complete a full scramble of the puzzle just to demonstrate how it turns. And I'm going to scramble it just like a brick. So with a brick, I would want to start with the 3x5 side on the top. And I think this is it. I'm trying to be careful here because I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to have to re-record this after I solve it. And when I say solve, I mean disassemble it and put it back together. So I'm going to scramble it with the 3x5 side on top. And to scramble a brick cuboid, you want to start by turning all sides in 180-degree increments. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the point of no return. And this is just to ensure that we don't bandage the puzzle yet. Honestly, this puzzle is hard enough to solve as is, but this is to ensure that we don't bandage corners with their edges in the solved state. It's a little bit hard to align the pieces just because it's so large, but the puzzle does actually turn quite well. And as I say that, it locks up. And I just realized I forgot to demonstrate the corner cutting. I'll show that off at the end, don't worry. And I'm not going to bother executing algorithms on this puzzle. It's going to be quite difficult. Really, I'm just taking my time to ensure that the layers are actually aligned with one another. It's so difficult to be able to tell. That looks good. Okay, turn that, turn this, and I'm eventually going to decide that this is sufficient for the first stage of the scramble. Of course, there is more. Oops, I'm losing my place here. Okay, there we go. I think I actually just did a 360 there. Oh well. Alright, so this is the first stage. So at this point, this is pretty similar to... I basically just turned every side in 180-degree increments. What I'm going to do now is free up the 3 side and the 5 side by turning those to 90-degree increments. So remember, this top layer is the 3x5 side. I'm now going to turn that axis in 90-degree increments. And of course, due to the even by odd nature, I still have to turn these other sides in 180-degree increments because the 4 side cannot be turned onto the 3 side and the 5 side. And this is becoming a nightmare. So we can see the bandaging that's taking place now. And I'm not sure why anyone would want this, but it was requested of me to make, so I made it. I hope everyone is happy. And I think I accidentally only turned one of these sides, but yeah, I did. Okay, there we go. I can't tell if we're locked up or if oh, no, we are not locked up. I just didn't complete that turn. Okay, I'm going to decide that that is probably good enough, to be completely honest. It is a little bit clunky at times, but it does still turn pretty well, despite how large it is. So I'd say that's pretty scrambled. I mean, that looks like a shard. And the last thing that I need to demonstrate, since I always do this corner cutting, I forgot to mention earlier, but it cuts 1 QB. Actually, it probably cuts a little bit more than that, to be honest. Nope, just 1. Let's not push it too far. It's pretty similar to the other 5x5x3 and 3x3x5 puzzles that I've demonstrated before, in terms of corner cutting capabilities. But in this case, you're going to spend so much time lining up the layers. Corner cutting isn't going to matter as much, since orienting yourself around this puzzle is quite difficult, to be honest. And I've actually lost my orientation. I actually turned the puzzle at a certain point. There we go, now we're back. Where is the... okay, there we go. I'm not too sure what I did right then, but that's fine. Anyways, I think that about does it. There's no way I can solve this puzzle, so I'm not even going to pretend... oh, this side is misaligned. Okay, now we can turn it. Like I said, that whole brick concept of the puzzle is actually throwing me off because I'm not paying attention to the increments that I'm turning each of the layers, and I keep accidentally turning a 4 side onto a 5 side, like right then, and it's a little bit hard. So this puzzle is completely disorientated. With that said, if you want this puzzle, it will be available in my shop. I do believe that, at least as a proof of concept, this is a pretty cool puzzle. I'm not sure if a brick puzzle has been done before, but even if it has, they're not incredibly available. So this is an interesting puzzle to offer. And I once again disoriented myself. What am I doing here? This is the 4 side, 5, 5, 3. That side is blocked. I'll figure it out later. Anyways, I now need to solve this, and when I say solve, I really mean take the puzzle apart and put it back together in a solved state. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.